Okay. So yeah, this one is the one that I missed last week. Would it be a good idea to create a network of YouTube channels for different niches to rank client videos, kind of like a PBN for videos, thinking to offer something for smaller businesses that can't afford SEO, but wanted opinions? Your opinions, as I remember you guys did a heap of video stuff a while back. If so, what would be your recommended route to get going? Okay. Yeah. I think that is a good strategy. And I did that actually for years. I did that. I built several YouTube channels with a whole bunch of syndication networks that were attached or triggered by an upload to the YouTube channel. Okay. We teach that at Syndication Academy, using IFTTT as the trigger mechanism. But, so I had done several of them. I had a channel called Contract. I still have the channels. I just don't really do much with them anymore. But for years I sold video SEO wholesale to a video production company. It was also did local web design and video production company that are local to me in an adjacent town. They sold websites and they sold videos, local small business, local business type videos. They would go out with the film crew and film the videos and do all the edits. And they did a really good job. And anyways, they were a one and done type of service. In other words, they would sell a website, one-time fee. They would sell a video, one-time fee. They might sell, a couple of videos over the course of a few years to a business, but that was it. And so I actually sold, I did some outreach to some video production companies, and this was several years ago, and basically told them like, hey, look, you're selling videos. I could, what are you doing? What do you do with the video once you sell it to them? Are you promoting it? Are you ranking it? Are you running it? At the time, I wasn't running ads. It eventually evolved in also running YouTube ads for the videos, because that works really well. I do that for clients now to this day. I run YouTube ad campaigns for clients. But anyways, I would contacted video production companies and said, look, here's a way that you can turn your one and done sale into recurring revenue, which is sell them on video SEO services. Right now you get monthly recurring. And what I did was I charged $100 setup fee for each video, and then $100 per month per video to rank, or per keyword. Because sometimes I'd use the same video and rank it for 5 keywords. And then I would do like a package deal and say, okay, I'll do 5 keywords for $400 a month, if that makes sense, something like that. But, and it would be the same video. It's called video spinning, where you just change the file slightly and then change out the keywords and then use the same video over and over again. And that worked great. What I did was I had a channel called Virginia Hangouts, which back in the day, it was called Google Hangouts. It's not anymore, but we used to use Google Hangouts and Hangouts on Air and all that kind of stuff. So I called the channel called Virginia Hangouts, and that was specifically for Virginia businesses, because the video production company that I was selling wholesale to, which by the way, they sold the setup fee for, I think, $350. They only paid me $100. They charged $225 per month to rank the video. I charged $100. So they were actually making more money than I was from it, but I didn't have to go out and sell the clients. It was their clients. I didn't have to do any prospecting and sales. My point of contact was them, like the production company, and they did all the management and client communication and selling and everything else. So it was beautiful. And at any given time for about 4 years, I had on average about 35 videos with them. So that was $3,500 a month. And it was relatively hands off. I mean, occasionally I'd have to boost stuff. But I tell you all that because it is a good strategy. I had that one. I had another channel called Contractor Hangouts, which worked. I used for any sort of promoting of contractor videos of any sort of contractor. So I had about 4 different channels. Those were 2 of them that I would use to do this very specifically for, and it worked great. You can plug a whole bunch of syndication networks to a YouTube channel. There's no limit to how many you can actually attach to a YouTube channel. And then every time you upload a video, it automatically kind of syndicates or cascades out across all of the properties in that network. And that was really good. However, and that does still absolutely help with ranking in Google. Ranking in YouTube, though, is more about signals engagement than it is SEO. I mean, there's still some basic SEO stuff that you need to do, like the title, description, tags, things like that. Those are all still important for ranking. But it's ranking in YouTube is more about engagement signals than it is just about. When I say that, you still have to do some, like I said, SEO stuff. But in Google, it still really matters to get a mix of backlinks and embeds and also some engagement signals. So it does work. I do recommend that you theme your channels. so that they're more relevant within specific topical categories. That does help. It does help with the SEO in Google, not as much in YouTube, but more in Google, if that makes sense. And then something else you can do is you can use playlists as a way to kind of add more relevance to videos, because you can create playlists based on geography, for example, or by topical category. But if you have a topical channel, right, that's all the videos on the channel are based around one type of topical or business category, then you can use playlists within that channel as a way to add more geographic relevance to videos, if that makes sense. Anyway, a lot of the stuff, I'm doing a hell of a lot more YouTube stuff now, guys. I mentioned this before. We Semantic Mastery joined Daryl Eves' channel Jumpstart, which is a lot more about triggering the YouTube algorithms. It's plural, not one, but there's many YouTube algorithms, and getting exposure from YouTube than it is about like traditional SEO. It's different. Very, very great program. I'm super happy with the program already, and I'm learning a whole lot about YouTube. But I'm also doing more just kind of general YouTube stuff. 2023 is going to be a big year for us in YouTube. I promise you that. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm starting right now that we're going to be rolling out and starting in January of 2023. That is going to be YouTube stuff. So I will probably, for you that asked this question, I will probably be doing a lot more YouTube training next year, starting in the first quarter of next year. So might be a good opportunity. That might be a really long pitch for me to say, come join the mastermind. but seriously, I mean that, because I'm going to be doing a lot more YouTube stuff starting in January of 2023. And so because that's how I run the mastermind, guys. Whatever I'm focusing the most of my attention on is what I do the most teaching on. And it's just because that's what I'm doing the most at the time. So I think YouTube is going to be a really big focal point for me next year, on top of the local SEO and all the other stuff that we do. But I'm really digging YouTube, and there's just so much potential in YouTube that we've underutilized all these years. So, and for local too, not just for us at Semantic Mastery, but I'm talking about in local too. There's a lot of things that can be done with YouTube. So I'm trying to develop more methods now that will be effective. And when I have enough data, if I prove it out and it's successful, and I can repeat it and be successful with the methods multiple times, then that's when I'll teach on it. So I expect about another month, 4 to 6 weeks before I'm ready to start doing that. But it's a great strategy. I still encourage you to do that. Instead of doing video SEO, like I would also do video SEO, but I would really encourage you, though, it's so much more scalable to learn how to do YouTube ads on a local level, because you can still also optimize and try to rank the videos. But one of the best things you can do, and it's so much easier to manage, is if you learn how to do YouTube ads on a local level and set up a proper audience segmenting or targeting, all of that kind of stuff, because that will also help or augment the SEO efforts, as well as provide exposure for people that aren't actually searching, but might have an interest. Again, in Google Ads, they have audience segments that you can select, predefined audience segments, like in-market audiences, for example, or they call them segments, in-market segments, or life event segments, for example. Those are buckets of Google users that Google has already predefined are likely in the market for specific products or services. You can select that as an audience and then have your videos appear in front of those people that meet that criteria. It doesn't matter whether they searched for a particular term or not. Google has determined that they're likely in market for that product, for a product or service. So therefore your video can serve to them. And that's, again, on top of video SEO, that is something that you can use that can significantly improve the effect of the video, right? As well as the exposure, and that's really what the whole point of video SEO or ranking videos for clients is, right? Is exposure and leads. Well, you can do that even when somebody's not searching particularly for that search query, but Google has determined they're likely in market. So they still see the ad, and they'll see it repeatedly, because unless you have your limits set in the ad campaign where like you only want it to show impression or view limits and things like that, which I don't recommend, they're going to keep seeing that ad as long as they're in that audience bucket that Google has already defined. And you can define your own audience buckets too, by the way, in Google Ads. So the point that I'm trying to make is that I use Google. That's how I use YouTube ads for my clients now, is we run ads to people in a specific geographic area that we either use predefined audiences or we create our own audience. And that keeps what I call it branding campaigns. They're just a video. Usually I get them made on Fiverr, that just constantly plays in front of people that are likely in the market for those products or services in that specific geographic area. And what that does is it keeps that brand top of mind, so that when the client, when the prospect, when somebody is ready for that to make a purchase for that product or service, it's an indirect lead generation method, right? Because hopefully, because they've been exposed to that brand over and over and over again via YouTube, whether they were searching for it or not, they say, "Oh yeah, now I'm ready for whatever." And they'll remember the company, right? Or at least that's the goal. And then they might go to Google and search for the company by name, which is a great signal. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I call it an indirect lead generation model, or lead gen model, or method, because it's rare that we actually get a lead, a conversion from a YouTube ad for a local lead. But it is, we have heard from clients that I run branding campaigns for, those clients that ask, like, how did you hear about us first? They'll say, "Oh, we kept seeing your video on YouTube, so I searched you out on Google." Well, that's great, because now you're getting the branded search and click that came from YouTube exposure, if that makes sense. So I think it's a great strategy, guys. Guys, think about this. There's so much opportunity if you learn how to optimize YouTube videos, not just optimize, because that specifically for SEO, but if you learn how to do YouTube videos well for local clients, there's a huge gap in the marketplace for people that know how to do that. Does that make sense? How to use YouTube effectively for local businesses. So that's a great strategy, I think, if you can figure it out and make it work. YouTube ads, SEO, combination of both, whatever. Okay.